Good evening. The news summary for this Sunday, 7th November. PUC is considering further water restrictions as the drought situation is persisting. Up until today, PUC had imposed water restriction from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. However, today the corporation decided to impose water restrictions from 12 noon to 5 p.m. PUC management will meet tomorrow to decide on the appropriate time during the day to impose water restrictions.
We are facing even more severe drought situation at the moment, and before we were restricting water only at night from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. But starting tomorrow, we'll have to restrict water during the day, and restriction hours will be communicated to the public tomorrow. But today, Sunday, we'll have to restrict water from midday until 5 p.m. Okay, this is because our barrage, our reservoir, the water is very scarce, and also we need to top up our reservoirs so that we can guarantee an acceptable supply to the public.
The Department of Environment is investigating numerous complaints about very loud music being played at Club Med Hotel, a five-star resort on Staten Island. These complaints about noise disturbances have been made by certain residents of Surf Island and tourists staying at Enchanted Island Resort on Round Island. They claim the noise is not only a nuisance for their peace and tranquility, but is also an issue of concern because the hotel borders the Santa Ana Marine National Park.
We heard kind of music. It wasn't really music, it was just a bass line, bass and drums line, like boom, 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 boom. And first we thought it comes from another house here, and we went out to see. And the staff here told us, no, that's not from this island, it's from our neighbors of Club Med. And so we thought, okay, maybe morning sports for half an hour, but it didn't stop, and it went on, stopped for a short time and went on and went on. And that's what we have now for many days. They don't stop at midnight, and it's disturbing a lot. Yeah? You cannot concentrate to read, you cannot talk, you cannot hear your own music. And you know, when you come back from dinner, you will not have a nice evening, you cannot do anything.
Even if the windows are closed and the door are closed, it's like you play it in your house. I think this damaged reputation of the Seychelles and also of the other hotel owners who promising relaxing holidays, calm, and then you're sitting in the middle of a disco.
The party leader of United Seychelles, Dr. Patrick Emini, has appealed for unity amongst the party's supporters and activists. He notes that intra-party cost US the last election and will surely have more negative effect on party's future if nothing is done to remedy the situation. Dr. Emini made the call while addressing delegates at the US 34th Congress held at the International Conference Center yesterday. This was, in fact, the second part of the 34th Congress, following the first part held in August 2021. During yesterday's event, delegates were introduced with members of the U.S. National Executive Committee, or NEC, people who will be leading the party. The party leader has also called on supporters to remain loyal to the party's ideology to promote the founding principles.
We need to go back to the people, and we need to campaign, and we need to create awareness among the population. A lot of bad things are happening today. You see, people are living in poverty. They're getting poorer by the day. And politicians are enriching themselves. You know, at a moment when a dedicated fund has been cut, they've increased their own allowances. This is not fair, this is not on. So we have enough ammunition, so to speak, to go back to the people and tell them, look, we made a mistake on the 25th of November 2020, and we need to rectify it. And we have 4 years to do that. And you need to talk to the people.
The Guy Morel Institute has organized its annual Human Resources or HR Forum last Friday afternoon. Some 30 HR managers or their representatives attended the forum. They came from both the public and private sector. Last year it was cancelled because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
It is important that at least annually we meet, we dialogue, they give us feedback, we give them feedback, and the information that we gather will help us to better plan for the forthcoming year, in line with making sure that all our courses remain relevant for what we need to do, and this is empowerment of the Seychelles workforce. We've got feedback from the forum in terms of training for the non-banking financial services. We have an introductory certificate, but they would like higher level courses because the equivalent international are quite expensive. So this is something we have discussed, but we've also discussed a lot about digitalization in the Seychelles. We need to change mindset, we need to change culture for us to embrace the digital age, and this is something that we have discussed as well, and we have agreed as a forum that this is something that we will treat as a priority for 2022. The government is also going e-government, so this is an initiative that if we start Guy Morel Institute in partnership with the workplace, we start there, and when eventually government, introduce the e-government strategy, some work would have been done. We've also discussed the implementation of result-based management by the government. This is another initiative where the Guy Morel Institute will be very active to build capacity so that we can implement result-based management fully starting from 2023.
Following the recent release of the Mai Plateau Fishing Trap and Line Management Plan, the Seychelles Fishing Authority SFA has started its awareness programs. Though the SFA is aiming to educate everyone in the country, their program is starting with the children initially. The authority held a workshop recently which brought together eco-school leaders from various schools around the country. The teachers had the opportunity to learn about the different species that are being controlled through the management plan, which include primarily demersal fish, red snapper and green job. The regulations require that fish above 32 centimeters be fished and consumed, whereas rabbit fish, which is caught by trap, fishermen have to abide to regulations which restrict the number of traps and period which they can be left on the coral reefs during the spawning season. The teachers also learned small games that they can use to help raise awareness among their students.
Given that we've got a few regulations that is to be put in place, like for example, the consumer should not be buying fish less than 32 centimeters. So we wanted to bring out the different regulations, disseminate a little bit about what the plan is all about to the eco-school leaders, so that the school children will be able to pass on the information to the parents and to the community also. We do believe that if there is a change to be made, it needs to start with the small children.
That's the end of this news summary. Join me at 8 for the news bulletin in Creole. Until then, have a pleasant evening.